Hello, I'm Robin Vincent and welcome to Molten Music Technology. Today I'm just having a very quick look at NKS 2.0. It's the new version of Komplete Kontrol software which incorporates effects plugins. So I've dragged out my Komplete keyboard, loaded up the software, and we're just going to have a quick bang around. If you want an in-depth investigation into the Komplete Kontrol system, then do check out the review I already done on the earlier version, on the Komplete Kontrol Mark II. And that'll take you through absolutely everything that it can do. In this, all I want to do is point out the new stuff, the effects, and then give you a good demo of the Eventide Blackhole extraterrestrial reverb. Firstly, because it's completely awesome. Secondly, because it's very, very touchable. Thirdly, because it's newly NKS compatible. And fourthly, because I just thought it'd be a good way to demo things. So without further ado, let me show you how you add an effects plugin to the Komplete Kontrol software. I've got Alicia's keys loaded up. Now this is a combination of hardware and software, so there's always a way of doing things in software, and there's nearly always a way of doing it in hardware. But what we have is this thing here at the top, this plugin bar, if you like, that you can tap on. It enables you to load an effect. Down here on the hardware, it's come up with effects and lets you browse through them. It's that simple, really. I can then select the effect that I want to use. In this case, the black hole. It's NKS compatible. It's there in my lovely thumbnail of things. I can hit load and up she comes. Let's choose the biggest reverb ever. That's simply gorgeous. Now you can step through presets with the preset buttons here, and that just takes you through the presets of the black hole. And it also sort of morphs between them in that way the Native Instruments stuff does. To get to the controls, you hit the plug-in button and then everything is on the knobs as you'd expect it to be. That's just lovely. I can add another one if I like, but I can also navigate to and from the various instruments I've got loaded with these two buttons here. So I can go back to the keys, for instance, go on browser. Let's load up something else. I was playing with guitar earlier and that was really nice. The preview doesn't go through the effect. Is that important? I've no idea, but it does not, at least as far as I can see. Let's go back to the black hole. before you ask, no, this isn't an iPad. It's a Surface Pro, a Microsoft device. It's a proper, desktop Windows machine. You're not running Komplete Kontrol on iOS as of yet. Now the Blackhole has this wonderful sort of ribbon controller in the middle, which you get on a knob, of course, on the Komplete Kontrol software, and that's controlling a number of parameters all at once. The other nice thing with Blackhole is that it's completely touchable. Now the Blackhole has this kill switch, which is quite interesting, which instantly kills the input through the plugin but allows the reverb to continue, but nothing else comes through at that point. Has a freeze, which will freeze the reverb sound buffer, if you like, at that point, and keep that going infinitely. There's a hot switch as well, which I'm not entirely sure what that does, to be honest. I think you can switch between two different kind of presets, or not presets, or settings. Yeah. And the Blackhole is multi-touchable as well, which is lovely. I'm going to bring you in a bit closer just to look at something. I originally thought the bypass was only possible through the little box here. There didn't seem to be any button, anything lit up on the hardware at all to allow you to bypass. So you had to use this little button there, which seemed a trifle inconvenient. Similarly with removing a plugin, I couldn't seem to find a way of doing that either. And there's a little cross here, so if you hit the cross, the plugin's gone. But unless the plugin GUI itself has a bypass button as part of its interface, then it's not going to be available to you. Or so I thought. However, there's an extra secret hidden menu under the Shift button over here. If we select our plugin, so we have our parameters all set up here, I've got the Blackhole selected. If I hit the Shift button over here, we get an extra menu. There's your bypass button. What I don't quite understand is, though, you've got this lovely blank slot here into which the bypass button appears when you press Shift. Why not just have it there all the time? I mean, it's a useful button, a button that we tend to use. So why not just have it there? However, it does give you this little menu where you can also move the plugin and remove it. Now I can add another effect, and I can do it here if I wish, rather than up in the software. If I go to the right from this page, which is the plugin sort of overall page, I've got contact here, Blackhole here. If I go backwards and forwards between them with these two buttons, if I go one further to the right, I've now got an empty one. And I can now go to the browser, and I'm automatically in effects. Because what this doesn't do, worth pointing out, it doesn't let you layer up instruments. It's only for effects. You have an instrument, then you have effects. You know, you can add several of those, but at the moment, purely one instrument. So I can now browse through my NKS effects, find something, I don't know, interesting. Now this is sort of interesting in that I put a delay after the reverb, which is not really the right way to do it. I wonder if I can swap those round. Oh yes I can. You saw that. Yes I can. And that's far better. So this means that moving plugins from the hardware is just a matter of selecting the plugin editor again, hitting the Shift button, and now I can move it. I can rearrange my plugins simply and easily. The drag and drop thing, that also works. That's great, but to be able to do it on the hardware is exactly what you want to happen. reverb. That reverb is just truly tremendous. It's huge, thick, fabulous. I can imagine running all sorts of things through it. In fact, I'll start getting my modular involved at some point, run that through it because of its so touchy-feeliness on the surface. I'm definitely going to be doing a bit of stuff with that. Not in this video, but at another time. So with the version 2 software, they've tidied a few things up. They've made the navigation a little bit easier. You can now navigate via vendor, as in the people who make it, as opposed to just categories. So I go back to contact. There was our standard menu, which is drums and percussion, sampled or synthesizers. But if I go up to here, I think I can go to vendor, and that then changes down here. To do that on the hardware, make sure you're in the browser view, then hit the magic shift button, and you get a choice between categories and vendors up here at the top. There we go, Arturia, Native Instruments, Rob Paban, all that kind of thing. It's all there, very useful. The other thing you get is a set favorites button, so you can select any preset, set it to favorites, and then when you come to browse, you can hit the favorites button, and there she is. It seems to me that some of the tweaks they've done to the browsing, to your magic key, bits and pieces like that have really helped, I think, elevate this version 2 just enough to make the whole thing work that little bit better. And let's pick another effect. I wonder how far I can go. Passive EQ, can I add another one? Yes, I can. Oop. Add another one. So that's 8 effects loaded. You can just keep on going. You can just keep on going. And to remove them, I haven't really found a way, don't think, to remove them here. I can step through them. There's no kill this plugin button. Again, you see all these buttons here that aren't doing anything. It could be unload plugin, delete, bypass, bypass and delete. That would be ideal, wouldn't it? Bypass and delete. But as it is, I've got to go up here and hit this little X in the corner. Obviously with a mouse if you're a normal person. I'm not a normal person, I'm a Surface user. So there you have it, NKS2, not a radical overhaul by any means. However, putting in effects is something that was sorely missing from the first version. So now you can have an instrument, your piano, your guitar, whatever it is you're wanting to play, your strings, your weird synthy sounds, and you can add delays to those, you can add reverbs, chorus, EQ, all of the effects that you've got stuffed into your machine. You can load VST plugins as well, and they just come from this little down arrow here. And you've got all the stuff that's native instruments, but you can also go to other non-NKS compatible synths if you so wish. So for instance, something from Traction here, stick in the studio delay. Now that noise you can hear is because this isn't an authorized copy of this, it's just the demo version. Don't worry about that. This is a regular non-NKS compatible plugin, and yet you get a whole load of stuff down here which is accurately labeled and ready to go. When you come into the plugin interface down here, there's not a whole lot going on. There's no thumbnail as such to speak of. It just gives you the parameters. And there's usually pages and pages of them as it sucks them all out as a standard VST effect. So there you have it, NKS2, Komplete Kontrol 2 software is a bit better than Komplete Kontrol 1 because you can add effects. That's it really. There's a couple of other tweaks and bits and pieces, a little bit to do with mute and solo buttons in the mixer page when you're using it with a DAW. But otherwise, it's good stuff, made slightly better with the effects. And if you fancy a really interesting and enveloping extraterrestrial reverb, then I can heartily recommend checking out the Eventide Blackhole. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and follow us on all the usual sorts of places. And until next time, go and make some tunes.